one of the first things that I want to get out there is my stage fright book, because I have a huge history of stage fright that I overcame and can now do this on stage. But,
I don't
having
remember that about
struggled
you.
with it so much.
That
Yeah.
was before I knew you. Must have been.
No, I would terrifying stage fright when I met you.
Really? When you were in Superstars?
Yes, I was in Superstars for 8 years and had stage fright every day of my life.
You hit it. You know what? That's a chapter right there because having it and showing it are two different things because you didn't show it. You look
Well,
very confident.
it held me back from being the performer that I would then become. It did hold me back, just a little story to make people out there feel better, considering, I have an established career now and make money at this. When I was a kid, all my friends and I, the teenagers, went to someplace and we went for dancing. Everybody was dancing. I think it was like a day club or something. Everybody's dancing, and I could not even get with them on the dance floor. That's how terrifyingly shy I was. So hopefully I can help people get over some of that. And I have a lot of tips about performance as well.
Yeah, that's very vital because I'm sure you've met people in all of your travels in the entertainment business, and I know I have, where they don't need anything. They don't need a book. They don't need a
No.
speech. They don't, and they just are natural. But those people are rare. I think sometimes they call it the it factor, or they have a star quality, or whatever it is. It's not taught. And I did have one or two girls like that, one in particular, but she didn't. She was more of a dancer, and she's still continuing as a professional dancer. But I mean, I could literally count them on one hand and have fingers left over out of the hundreds of kids that I've taught in the last 10 years. So it is very, very rare. So you have no choice but to try to go through some, other methods to make them aware of it. But sometimes it's interesting because particularly we've done a lot of music videos, and you still have to perform even in a music video, even though there's no audience, and then they see themselves back, which they don't even do when they do a live performance. They really don't know what they look like unless someone's videotaping. But a music video is literally, you're going to watch that back. And so, recently they were asking me to please take down those music videos from 3 and 4 years ago because they're so embarrassed by them, even though I'm not, because they're kids and we did,
Hey,
some
I'm
are
all
pretty
for that.
good.
I don't believe in any bad promo out there. Don't put bad promo out there.
Right. Well, I respect them now so much that I actually considered it because normally I'd be like, no, I'm not taking that down because I put so much work into it and their
Oh,
kids and the parents love it. And there's a lot of other elements as to why they're up there. I'm not pushing them as professionals. They're not out there like that.
sure. I mean,
They're on the
think about
encore.
it. If they're in TV shows later on in life or in some concert, they're going to come after you to definitely take those down
Oh,
because
absolutely.
people are going to be seeking out what they did to start.
Right, and I
But
totally can relate to that, which is why I took them seriously because even if it's not video, so I listen back to music I've written or recorded years ago, and I'm like, oh, I will never play that for anybody, kind of thing. So I definitely get it, and I for the first time took her seriously when one of my girls said, please, can you go and take those videos down?
Well, and this brings up the point that, young entertainers, what they need to know is that just because maybe you don't have the it factor does not mean you're not going to make it. Because I
Oh, no.
find a lot of the people that do make it are the ones who try harder, the ones who go for it. That's why sometimes we say, oh my gosh, why is this person famous? That's
Right.
exactly it right there. So it
And
doesn't mean that you can't have a job and you can't work doing this if you feel like you just don't have that it factor. You
that's
still
absolutely true.
can
And
make
in
money.
fact, another thing which you started to touch on is about the working harder. Is I've found that people who have a lot of natural talent don't work as hard, and they're used to things coming easily to them. So eventually, they're going to come across something that doesn't come easily to them, and then they're not really going to be able to tackle it in the same way because And I've had students like that where, doesn't matter what the example is. It just means Oh, and I even had this in Las Vegas when had my band, and I had a lot of female singers over the years. I think I had about 18 different female singers. Sometimes we had three at a time. And most of them were pretty decent lead singers, but none of them were particularly good at singing harmony. And because harmony was a little more difficult for them. And so they never got good at it.
Sometimes if you're a lead, it's harder to do harmony. So it's a good starting point to learn harmonies. It's a great starting point because, yes, everybody doesn't know how to do it.
That's true. It's a separate skill that's more about your ear than it is about your voice. And also, I try to explain this to a lot of my students, singers, that harmony, being able to sing harmony, not only makes you a harmony singer, but it actually makes you a better lead singer, because sometimes if you're not good at harmony and suddenly you hear harmony behind you, it draws you off the wrong note, off your correct note, because now you're hearing a high part and a low part, and it makes you unsteady on your note because you're not used to doing that. So if you could get really good at harmony, your pitch at least will not be an issue as a lead singer. It's not going to be about finding the right note and holding it, because that's what harmony is about. Then you can really concentrate on all the other attributes of singing, of projection and vibrato and style and all of those other things. So fortunately, I have two girls who are exceptional, and I tell them it's absolutely true. These two girls, my two girls, Christina and Savannah, are better at harmony than any of the professional girls I've ever sang with on any.
Wow.